Now we know that Consumer Protection Act. Where are we studying it? We are studying it under Law of Torts. Law of Torts mainly aims at providing compensation to the victims. If you have suffered any loss, compensation will be provided to you. But then under Consumer Protection Act, we also have provisions relating to offences and penalties. When we see this word, right, offences, it's always related to criminal law. It's always related to a crime. Same applies for penalty also. Because in civil, we would say it's a civil wrong. It's a wrongful act. But we will not use this word offense. Same, we will not use the word penalty. Penalty as in it is related to crime. Okay, that indicates that Consumer Protection Act is having sections or provisions which are a combination of both civil and criminal. There are some provisions which are civil where compensation will be provided. At the same time, there are some provisions which are criminal, which will lead to what is the punishment in case of crime? Do you remember? Civil and criminal, we saw the difference, right? What are the common types of punishments given in criminal law? Who remembers it? Types of punishments we discussed, right? Civil versus criminal.
Ma'am, in criminal, imprisonment, ma'am.
Imprisonment. And one more thing was there.
Fine, ma'am.
Fine. Right? Like in rarest of rare cases, capital punishment might be there. Like one person killed like 9-10 people together, or one criminal killed again, one murderer again killed someone. That's like a rarest of rare case where death penalty can be given. But most common type of punishment that we see in criminal law is, yes, imprisonment plus fine. And when we say penalties, it talks about both of that only, that it provides for some sort of a fine, maybe amount will be mentioned, or maybe it would be just, okay, like some fine will be provided. Okay. And imprisonment term also, it might be few months, few years, whatever will be specified. So when we see that there is a provision, Chapter 7 of Consumer Protection Act, which relates to offences and penalties. Otherwise, Consumer Protection Act says if a consumer suffers any loss, you provide compensation. Like day before yesterday, we saw that example of that Ashna Roy getting 2 crores compensation. So it was what? It was talking about compensation. Earlier, I told you one example of Big Bazaar, that they were selling this carry bags for some 18 rupees, 17 rupees. And then their name was mentioned there. They were also fined some 12,000, 14,000. That means compensation is most common, but then compensation might not be enough to address every single issue. And that is the reason why we have penal provisions as well. There will be certain cases wherein person may be sent behind the bars as well. Because just asking for compensation might not be enough. Imprisonment creates sort of a threat that, okay, fine, even if it's for 1 month, I will have to go to jail if I'm doing this. That means the person will be more aware of it. Same applies for fine as well. So what are the situations when imprisonment or fine can be given? Because otherwise we have seen that mostly it talks about compensation only, compensation to the customer who is not satisfied with certain goods or services. So what are these penalties? We will see that. These are the sections, okay? There are few sections, not like too many penal provisions are there, but it's a little in detail we have, okay? Sometimes they will say, okay, for first offense, this is the punishment. Subsequent offense, this is the punishment. Because if someone is repeating the same sort of crime again and again, that indicates it's very severe. Accordingly, punishment would also be more. All right, is it clear? Is this part clear? All right, so we have first is section 88 that talks about penalty for non-compliance of direction of central authority. Now we know under Consumer Protection Act, there are so many different authorities being established. Similarly, there is one regulatory authority, that is Central Authority, Central Consumer Protection Authority. If Central Consumer Protection Authority has issued some directions or regulations and those are not being followed, then in such cases, punishment or penal provisions would apply, that is imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months or with fine which may extend to 20 lakhs rupees or with both. Now this statement we need to understand. Imprisonment as in sending behind the bars. A person will be sent behind the bars. Is it will be? No, it is maybe. That means the court will decide whether imprisonment or fine or both. All right, so it depends on court. Depending on severity of the crime, court will decide whether only imprisonment is enough, only fine is enough, or we need to impose both. Accordingly, punishment will be given. If court decides to send the person behind bars, maximum of 6 months of imprisonment can be imposed, depending on how severe the situation was. For fine, which may extend to 20 lakhs rupees. Fine also, it is mentioned, the limit is mentioned, within 20 lakhs rupees, it can be any amount. Plus, if the offense is more serious, it may be maximum is like 6 months of imprisonment plus 20 lakhs of fine. All right, and in between, whatever court feels is the right thing, they will do it. For other offenses also, when you are reading a certain legislation, you will always see that it talks about, okay, fine, for this certain offense, this is the punishment. Maximum of 7 years of imprisonment, maximum of 3 years of imprisonment. Why this word maximum used? Because court, it depends on court. Court will look at the severity of the situation and other factors, and after that give an amount of punishment. It will not be same in every case. Okay, even though it's the same case of theft, punishment may vary because it depends also what all things the person stole, what was the situation, how it happened and everything. All right, so here also you need to remember, if directions of central authority are not being fulfilled or followed, maximum of 6 months of imprisonment, fine up to 20 lakhs or with both. Okay, this is the first penal provision that we get under Consumer Protection Act. Secondly, in Consumer Protection Act, we have seen that it is talking about misleading ads as well. In the features we discussed, right, that if the company or the producer manufacturer has published an ad which is giving misleading information, false information, they are putting up fake claims. In such cases, for punishment will be imposed for false or misleading advertisement, and their punishment may be imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years. That means maximum of 2 years. Within that, any number of years, months or days can be given, or with fine which may extend to 10 lakhs rupees. So it is a little less as compared to violating central authorities regulation in terms of the fine imposed. So it may be 2 years maximum of imprisonment or with 10 lakhs rupees fine. But for every subsequent offense, that means he is like a repeated offender. First he did the offense, suffered the punishment, after that again he is doing. That means it's a more serious situation. Their punishment will also be severe. Imprisonment which may extend to 5 years or with fine which may extend to 50 lakhs rupees. All right, so first one we have relating to violating directions given by central authority, where maximum of 6 months of imprisonment, 20 lakhs rupees fine or with both. Next one is about false and misleading ads. For the first time, it may be up to 2 years of imprisonment, 10 lakhs rupees fine. For subsequent offences, it may go up to 5 years of imprisonment and 50 lakhs rupees. Okay, it's like 5 like that. You can remember 5 and 50. So it is for the subsequent offense. Second time, if they are again publishing some misleading ads, this may be the punishment imposed. Are these two sections clear, 88 and 89?
Yes, ma'am.
Ranati, is it clear sections? So you just need to remember this part, okay? Like non-compliance of direction of central authority, imprisonment up to 6 months, maximum of 6 months, fine up to 20 lakhs or with both. This part only you need to remember. Otherwise, you will be able to explain, right? That if central authority has issued some directions or regulations, those needs to be observed because they are the main regulating body under Consumer Protection Act. If that is not being done, it's a criminal offense that will lead to punishment or fine accordingly. Next, we have punishment for manufacturing, for sale or storing, selling or distributing or importing products containing adulteration. So it talks about adulteration, where it is been adulterated, right? Whatever food or other items was it, it was adulterated. In such cases, what is the punishment? Whether you are manufacturing, selling, storing, distributing, importing, like with a knowledge that these products are adulterated, even after that you are trying to distribute it, sell it, collect it, storing it, whatever you are doing. For that, what is the punishment? Now there it depends to what extent the item was adulterated. Based on that, only punishment will be imposed. Okay, so whoever has done any of these things, whether manufacturing, storing, selling, distributing, or importing, if that particular act of adulteration does not result in any injury to the customer, it did not cause any injury like liver dysfunction or something like that, it did not cause any injury as such, but then the person came to know that yes, it was adulterated. In such cases, imprisonment which may extend to 6 months, fine which may extend to 1 lakh rupees. So court will decide what would be the amount, but maximum 6 months of imprisonment or 1 lakh rupees fine. If because of the adulteration, no loss is caused to the consumer, okay, no injury is being caused. But so first one is no injury. Secondly, causing injury not amounting to grievous hurt to the consumer. Might be there were some rashes, some skin allergy or something happened because of an adulterated product. Or because of eating some adulterated food, maybe the person was not very fine. Okay, he was a little sick. He had some food poisoning for 2 days. In such cases, what will be the punishment? It will be maximum of 1 year of imprisonment or with fine up to 3 lakhs rupees. So from 1 lakh, it is becoming 3 lakhs. From 6 months, it is becoming 1 year. Because here the person has suffered a little loss. Might be he had some food poisoning, he had some skin allergies, rashes, or some redness or some other things. All right, that is because of adulterated products or because of adulterated item that was manufactured or sold. Next one is causing injury resulting in grievous hurt to the consumer. It caused severe hurt to the consumer, but yes, the consumer did not die. All right, but severe hurt was caused. There it may extend to 7 years or with fine which may extend to 5 lakhs rupees. So depending on the severity of the result, right? What is the outcome of this certain act? Based on the outcome, we are deciding what will be the punishment. second. So we have studied about grievous hurt, right? That what will happen in case it is screen was shared. So what will be the thing in case of grievous hurt? So we will see that we get these provisions under IPC. Okay, so what is grievous hurt? What is hurt? We get it under IPC. So we will see what is hurt plus what is grievous hurt. Yeah, so what is hurt? Whoever causes bodily pain, disease, or infirmity to any person is said to cause hurt. Like I said, maybe someone had skin allergies, rashes, those will be hurt. Maybe someone had food poisoning. It's like a disease, right? For 2-3 days, the person was having food poisoning for 2 days. That will be considered as hurt. There, what is the punishment given? The second one. Causing of hurt, we had read any injury not amounting to grievous hurt. So if it was only hurt, then up to 1 year of imprisonment plus 3 lakhs rupees fine. Third one is grievous hurt. So what is grievous hurt? That again we get in IPC section 320. Okay, emasculation, permanent privation of sight of either of the eyes. Permanently it's gone, eyesight. Either of the ear, it's gone. Any body part has been gone, right? Permanent disfiguring of hair of or face. Any sort of thing that is like severe, those would be considered as grievous hurt. All right, might be the person was applying some sort of an eye drop or maybe some sort of an eyeliner or something, but that eyeliner was having very harmful products. It was adulterated, and because when this person applied that eyeliner, his eyesight is gone forever. So in such cases, we will say it is a situation of grievous hurt. All right, so causing grievous hurt, it may extend to 7 years of imprisonment and fine up to 5 lakhs rupees. Okay, you can take the example that someone's eyesight is gone, or maybe someone was applying an ear drop. Some liquids come, right, to clean your ears. Person applied it and then it was adulterated. It was not made with proper ingredients. His ear stopped working, one of the ears. In such cases also it will be grievous hurt only. So this is the punishment, 7 years or with 5 lakhs rupees. And the final stage is death. So first stage, no loss is being caused, 6 months or with 1 lakh rupees fine. Secondly, hurt is being caused, where it will be 1 year or 3 lakhs rupees fine. Thirdly, grievous hurt is being caused, where it will be 7 years or 5 lakhs rupees fine. And last one is death is being caused, which is like very severe, the most severe of all these different punishments given. So if death is being caused to the consumer, which shall not be less than 7 years. Imprisonment shall not be less than 7 years in any case, but it may go up to imprisonment for life as well. And punishment or this penalty or the fine will be up to 10 lakhs rupees. Okay, so we are trying to divide or impose certain penalties or fines based on severity of the offense. And severity is divided into 4 different classes: no harm, hurt, grievous hurt, and last one is death caused to the person. Okay, is this section clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So here you need to remember a little bit, because offenses, penalties, like we don't have any other option basically, right? We need to remember the year plus the fine imposed. Okay. So that is about section 90, which talks about grievous hurt, death, and all that stuff for adulteration. Because of adulteration, what is the result? And this last penal provision that we see is relating to punishment for manufacturing, for sale or storing or selling or distributing or importing of spurious goods. All right, so sections, there are basically 4 different sections which we get, and all these 4 different sections are talking about what loss may be caused. Okay, so what is spurious goods? It is something which is falsely claimed to be genuine, but in reality, it is something else only, right? Maybe someone used like a wrong brand tag or something. Okay, it is not a genuine product. Goods are deficiency at 50%. So there is some deficiency in service or something because it is not a genuine product. So for that, what will be the punishment? Causing injury not amounting to grievous hurt. Here also it may be dependent on the type of wrong that is being caused. So causing injury not amounting to grievous hurt, imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year, or with fine which may extend to up to 3 lakhs rupees. Causing injury resulting in grievous hurt to the consumer, it will be imprisonment for up to 7 years, or with fine which may extend up to 5 lakhs rupees. And if it has resulted in death, it should not be less than 7 years, but may extend to imprisonment for life, or with fine up to 10 lakhs rupees. So it is basically same with this provision. If death is caused, minimum 7 years, maximum life imprisonment, or fine up to 10 lakhs rupees. Okay, and one more thing is very common. Okay, when we are reading this punishments, okay, in that case, one thing becomes very important. I'll just show you. Like in first semester, we studied legal methods. There was one chapter on interpretation, which helps us to understand how to interpret or understand a certain legal provision. I'll give you an example of that. See here, what they have mentioned: imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, or, right, or is being used, with fine which may extend to this, or. That means it depends on the court whether they want to impose only fine, only imprisonment, or they want to impose both. Court is free to decide when we get this word or. But over here, if you see, it is imprisonment for up to 7 years or life imprisonment and with fine. That means it cannot be only fine that is imposed. It will be combination of both imprisonment plus fine only. When you get this word and, here all you would get and, extend to this imprisonment for a term which may extend to. So you would get and when it is more severe. Okay, here also you would get 5 years and with fine. That means when you get this word and, it's more severe, where punishment will be combination of imprisonment plus fine. In case of less serious, you will see that, okay, fine, this is the imprisonment, or this may be the amount of fine imposed. It depends on court. If court feels that, okay, only fine is enough, court can do that as well. But in these cases, court cannot do that. Okay, is this part clear? Penalties and offenses. All right. So here you need to remember a few things, all right, because we have this punishment and the imprisonment here. There is no other option, but we will have to try a bit to remember this part. Okay, Vishnu, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And you can accordingly start reading it from now only, because otherwise this punishment thing may get a little confusing. So try remembering what are the 4 different sections, what are the different offenses that we have first of all. After that, you can try to remember the punishments given, different categories of punishments. Accordingly, you can start preparing it.